So I first saw your work in Robin Hood, which a lot of my family even watched together. So what's it like, sort of stepping into a role that Liam Neeson previously had? Like, how do you strike the balance between emulating what he does and then showing new sides of the character?
That's a good question. I obviously watched Liam's performance many times, and I was a big fan of the first film. But the pressure's taken off me somewhat because it's an origin story. So we all know how he ends up, but I've got no rush to get there. This is a TV show, so I have to think about it over, first of all, just 10 episodes, and then hopefully, season after season after season. So we don't want the finished product. No one roots for someone who's got all the answers, who's got the particular set of skills.
Right. Yeah.
We want him to trip, stumble, fall, get back up again, and learn from his mistakes.
So I've seen you on shows before, like My Wife and Kids, and so that was obviously a very broad comedy. So what sort of transition do you have to make from a comedy to a drama like Taken?
As an actor, you're kind of always looking for new ways to stretch yourself, and I think sometimes when you start off in a comedy, people don't realize that you can do drama. And to be honest, I always felt a little bit more drawn to that and love drama. So being on this show really kind of gave me an opportunity to explore a different side of myself and my craft, so to speak. And I think one of the other things is it's an action show. So I was able to do some physical stunts and things like that. And now I'm like, oh, I totally want to do an action movie. I've got the bug. So it's really great to be able to delve in and have the time to go a little bit deeper with some things that you can't always touch on in a broad comedy.
So I've seen you on two other NBC shows before, Friday Night Lights, of course, and Aquarius. So what is it about NBC that keeps you coming back to them?
NBC's a good place to be, man. I like NBC. They're doing some great shows, and Friday Night Lights, obviously, Aquarius, Taken. They're just great shows, great stories that I think, I think that they're giving people opportunities to tell stories that audiences really enjoy.
Well, so there's no secret that TV production is strenuous and tiring. So what's it like, sort of doing all these action things and then maybe slowing down to do a character moment? Like, how do you manage that transition?
It's a very good question, because I think about this all the time, because the whole idea of acting is to be completely in the moment. You can't second guess what your fellow actor is going to throw at you. Whereas stunts, you have to be slightly ahead of the beat, because you need to know what's coming and you need to be to be safe. So the answer lies in somehow molding the two together, and the only answer I've got is to kind of learn the stunts and the action sequences so well that they become part of your muscle memory, and then you just hope that you remember on the day. And Vikings was my stomping ground for learning that. Sometimes you get an axe in the face, sometimes you get punched, but it adds to the action, because then you almost get the character in the moment. You see the whites of the eyes, you see the fear, the anger, the frustration and things, and you're moving from side to side, and then you're telling a story through the action. And I think you'll see that on screen in Taken.
You've got some great cast members in your show. So what's the sort of general vibe like on set? What's the interplay like?
Oh, we play. But, it's a serious show, and everybody takes what they do very, very seriously. However, everybody doesn't take themselves seriously. Right. And so it's a really fun cast. We genuinely all love to spend time with each other and did a lot of things outside of just shooting. And so I hope that chemistry and that genuine care and teamwork, all those vibes translates on screen, which I've heard it does. But, and that's always, you get the best work when everybody is open and willing to just do whatever it takes.
Well, so you're a very diverse actor, because I've seen you on like Drunk History, and I've seen you on, I've heard about you on stage. Obviously, I haven't been to any of the plays, unfortunately. But yeah, so how is it? In what ways have you tried to challenge yourself over the years by just continuously doing new things?
Yeah, to me, I look for great stories and great characters, and when I actually think about it, Friday Night Lights and just other things that I've done, I've been very blessed to just play characters that are very nuanced, very interesting. To me, it's always, you start with the story, and then you kind of see where that takes you, and then obviously the character and where, what the character's about, how nuanced is it. Sometimes characters can be, especially on television, characters can be very narrow, very flat, kind of keep you in sort of a niche. But what's really cool is when you get to play characters that have a large life. For the show that we're doing now, Taken, John is smart, he's strong, he's the natural born leader of the team, but he's also a guy who has, the challenges that, a person at this level would have in terms of dealing with PTSD, trying to give back to his community, and all those things that are just real life issues. So I think it's that kind of character and that kind of story that will really draw the audience in and, make them want to watch Taken.
Well, my last question isn't really a question, but I just wanted to say how much you being in Friday Night Lights means to me, because my family just really bonded over that show. We really love that show. So I resisted the whole urge to call you Smash the whole time. But thank you so much. Go Panthers, and thank you for coming with us. Thank you.